Whether you're pitching a product, negotiating a raise, or deciding which movie to watch, we all navigating the art of selling in one way or another. Welcome to Power of Soft Skills in Sales. I'm Evgeniy, your guide to unlocking the human side of selling. Here we explore the connection, communication, and collaboration skills that make interactions more impactful. Get ready for inspiring stories, teamwork tips, insight on trust, and actionable advice to help you sell smarter and connect deeper. Let's jump in. A pleasure today to talk to Tanja. We met in a very interesting way during my TEDx training. I got the pleasure to be trained by Tanja. By the time this episode aired, it may be after TEDx or maybe before, I'm not exactly sure. But before we go there, Tanja, please introduce yourself and what do you do day by day?
Awesome. Thanks so much. Yeah, nice that you said it's a pleasure so far being coached by me. Not everybody feels that way. I'm Tanja Diamond. I'm a business and life strategist is the quickest way to say that. I have 5 major brands ranging from personal development to healing trauma to sex and relationship, all the way to TEDx speaker coaching. So I do a lot in my day. So it's super exciting and textured. And I've been self-employed since I was 16 years old, and I am currently 63. And then the internet, 1992, one of the first women to make money online that wasn't in the porn industry. That would have been faster. I like a challenge.
OnlyFans, yes. We're not going to talk about OnlyFans today, but we are going to talk about connection, communication, and soft skills today. And you have a lot of different brands and a lot of different domains. My main domain is cybersecurity, but part of cybersecurity is consulting, communication, and I do believe talking to people, understanding people, it's uber important because if we don't understand people, then the technology, while it could be very cool, we're going to be very, very secondary. And
Yeah.
I kind of want to start on focusing on the coaching part because when people come to coach with you, and this could be trauma, this could be speaking, this could be other thing,
Yeah.
I'm guessing they already kind of a bit more mature because they ask you now for guidance. But still, there's a lot of coaches, there's a lot of people. When they talk to you or when you reach to them, there should be some kind of communication.
Yep.
So how do you do that? But maybe even before, if we talk soft skills, if we say the term soft skills, what is soft skills for Tanja? What does it mean for you?
Soft skills would be the thing. I mean, you're nailing it. Like communication is the number one soft skill I think almost all of us need if we're interacting with other people. If we're not interacting with other people, then, but communication is the result. So that's what I was saying. Communication is the result. So if you're trying to communicate with somebody and you're not getting the result you want, you might look at what the heck you're doing when you're talking and speaking to them. So as somebody who's an autistic polymath, communication was the thing that was definitely dicey for me growing up. Let's just say a lot of people don't appreciate my communication skills or technique, style. That's the word I was looking for. My communication style for a lot of people when I was a kid was constantly being told to stop doing whatever it was I was doing. So I received a lot of information that how I spoke and communicated was not appreciated or liked.
And if you talk soft skills, there's also the idea of hard skills. And in technology, from where I come, there's a lot of hard skills. It could be mathematics, physics, programming. And I find that people that have a lot of hard skills, by a lot, I mean a very, very proficient there, having harder time with soft skills. Is this what else you see as well or something else?
No, absolutely, because I work with a lot of people who are geniuses and a lot of geniuses that are into like programming and technology and building and innovation and things like that, harder skills using their computers all the time. One of the things that I help coach them with is how to actually communicate their ideas and what they are trying to tell the rest of the team. Because they're all out doing these, crazy, cool, innovative things, but they have no idea how to actually say it and actually get what they need done.
I'll give you an example. I really want to hear an example of somebody, and if somebody is listening to us right now, they could be in programming, they could be in the other part of tech, And they may
Yeah.
like, oh, wait a second, I have a lot of ideas, but every time I want to say it, I'm not always understood. Or when I
Hmm.
want to tell my spouse, my kids, my friends that are not in the industry. So, what are some of the guidelines that you tell people to do what you do?
Yeah. Well, part of it is that we get really excited when we're, because I'm also a scientific innovator, clicking blue block glasses here. I'm also a serious nerd, tech stuff as well. And part of the problem is we get so excited about the thing we're doing that we just download. So we talk fast about things and terms that other people don't know. And as soon as you confuse somebody, the first time somebody gets confused about what you're saying, they lean out. And once they lean out, everything else you're saying doesn't land. So when you're talking, you're talking to people that are not your compadres in that kind of space, you have to slow down. You have to use lay terms, try to be as simple as you can. But the main thing is to allow people's brains to catch up with what you're saying. It requires pausing, changing your tone of voice, and being more calm.
If I'm very excited and I'm in my zone, how do I know? What if I'm so excited that I don't even understand that Tanya, the other person I'm talking to, is already checked out?
Yeah. Yeah. Just assume it. If you're excited, you feel that urgency and you feel that excitement, which you're going to do when you're like, get something new and you really want to talk about it. You're like, oh my gosh, you got to hear that. When you feel that urgency, that's already a sign that if you're talking to somebody who's not meeting that, you're not going to notice it. You have to practice ahead of time,
Do you
and
practice this with yourself? Do you practice
yeah,
this in front of the mirror, or you grab someone and like, hey, you're gonna practice telling stuff?
whatever it takes, listen to it into a voice recorder and listen back. And if you feel like you're speeding like this and you're talking really like this, that's too fast. You're not breathing.
And I do want to adhere to this part. When you're gonna record yourself on the voice recorder, I guarantee 100%, 99.9, you're gonna hate your voice because
Yes.
we just built like that that when we hear ourselves during our years and then recording, it will sound different. It took me about 8 months or maybe a year to be comfortable listening to myself. So bear with yourself. You have an amazing voice. You just need a bit of time to adjust to it. So this is a good
Yeah.
advice. Record
Yeah.
yourself. And especially with oral technology, you can do it on your phone. You can transcribe. You can listen. There are so many things you can do there.
Yeah.
This is very interesting and I think very valuable as well because many people even afraid to speak up from their ideas in some cases. But what you're saying is part of the solution is to understand the problem. That you
Hmm.
are excited, that
Absolutely.
you excited from a good reason because you have
Yeah.
something to share.
Yeah. And whether you're trying to explain that to your team or people that you need something from, then it's more imperative that you slow down and you parse out the information in bite-sized pieces and not one long stream of consciousness. And that's what I really see from a lot of people who are innovators and geniuses is that they just like, and I do the same thing. I mean, when I got into AI and things like that, and I was trying to explain things to people, I was like, my best friend said, yeah, I love you. And clearly this is super exciting. I don't understand a freaking word that's coming out of your mouth. So it's like, yeah.
So let's try to kind of put it by pieces. We mentioned soft skills, you mentioned pauses, you mentioned slowing down. Depend
Mhm.
who you ask, they may say this is not a soft skill, but I think who cares? We can define what soft skills for us. What other soft skills are valuable from the communication part for you?
Well, when I say communication is the result, I really mean that. If you're speaking to somebody and you're not getting the result you want from that experience, then you need to reassess and step back. It's instead of blame the other person first, like, oh, you just don't get it. I don't, you take a pause and I can tell you what I do. I take a pause and I reassess. Did I set this person up for success? And that means something like this. Hey, I just need you to listen to what I'm saying. I don't need you to fix it. I don't need anything else. But are you in a space to just hear what I'm saying? Or I want to tell you something and I'd like you to listen to it and then tell me if it's confusing or what part I need to work on or I need to explain better to you. So by preemptively setting up the conversation, as this is really good in relationships and things like that, When you do that, you set both of you up for success by I let you know what I need before I start talking.
I'm getting very excited. Very cool topic. Well, let's go deeper. We mentioned coaching. You have a potential new customer. They find you on the internet, somebody introduce you. Now you need to get into the heart. They understand they're getting the best deal, the best person. What is your, it's not, I don't want to call it a framework, maybe guidelines to yourself. How do you communicate the value?
Yeah, the first thing I do is I set the conversation up for success. So let's say you're coming into my coaching, TEDx coaching container, and I'm like, hey, so I just want to let you know what to expect on this call. I'm not going to be asking for your credit card. I'll send you an email afterwards. So what I want to know is like where you are in the TEDx space, what you know, questions you have, those types of things, why you want to do this. And then I will answer all of those and I'll give you a high level look at what's going on. And then afterwards, if you're interested, I can tell you about what I do for people. But the first thing I'm doing is basically answering their objections. I'm getting all the things that they're worried about out of the way by setting up the expectation of what's going to happen. And I do that with my relationships too. Like, hey, I'd like to talk. This is what I want to talk about. We're okay. I love you. Everything's fine. And here's what's going on.
So you kind of already going towards the end, not like I'm jumping on a call and I'm expecting when you're going to tell me the bill and or you tell me it's not going to work. You basically tell me in advance, let's take it out of the way. And you are guiding right away what's going to happen, what to expect from you, how you work and how you operate. And I really love the idea that even in your relationship, you're basically saying, let's talk.
Yeah.
Not like, hey, how you doing? How was your day? How was groceries? By the way, you messed up. You're saying,
Yeah.
okay, I need to talk to you. It's switching the conversation from blah blah to okay, there's something happening. Good, bad. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love you and we're okay. So understanding that, this isn't the end
Yes.
of something.
I hope you're not telling all your customers that you love them. Okay, this may not
Oh
gonna
yeah.
work.
No, I do that all the time.
But so you're working with a highly, I guess, high individuals, the people that basically
Yeah.
are achievement. Because they have a certain ego. They may be not good with feedback, or they need to understand the feedback they want. And some people want direct feedback. Someone massage me, please.
Yeah.
Make it nice for me. Some only give me the good feedback.
Right. Yep.
How do you understand the feedback the person need? Because at the end of the day, you cannot just kind of paint the brush and say, I don't care, love me as I want, because it's our customers. You need to adapt. Customer journey, customer success.
That's a great question because I'm kind of known. The reason that I'm a strategist and not a coach is people pay me to tell them what to do because my skill set isn't to massage somebody and spend a lot of time fluffing them up. And so I let people know if you're going to coach with me, I am really direct. It's going to feel really kind of in your face, not happy, but I also use a lot of humor and there's a lot of love. And so what I say is if you understand that my intent is for you to have outstanding results sooner than later, and you lean into what I'm asking you to do, we'll get there faster. And that doesn't mean that people love me or they hate me. There's pretty well not a middle ground for me when it comes to coaching. So I wouldn't say that my style is right for every coach. But I'm known that when people lean in a little bit, they get curious about what I might do, they end up loving me because it's clear, it's direct. They know that they believe what happens is they trust me because they know I'm going for outstanding. And so, but I set them up though. I tell them what it's going to be like. So that's that expectation again.
I can say that from personal experience, been working with you for the last few months, not day by day, but over the document, that it is harsh. But what I felt very quickly that in some cases you're starting a program with someone like coaching, and it sounds very flattering and amazing the first week or two until you pay them, and then somehow you going somewhere on a back end. What I felt working with you is you're going to be harsh, you're going to have a kick in the butt, but I felt that you're going to stick with me, that you're going to actually finish what you started And it's not going to be, okay, you're on your own, bye-bye. There is still something missing.
Mm.
So I understand this. And it may not work for everyone, as you're saying, but
Correct.
the more people understand, it will work with them. How important is the building of the rapport, building the communication with the other person? Because you still need to get to them. Even if they agree, they still may be unhappy, but you still need to build this rapport. What do you do? How do you build this?
Yeah. So the question begs, how much rapport do you need to be with somebody for them to buy in? For instance, my surgeon, if I have a surgeon, I don't need rapport with them. I just need to know they're awesome at cutting. They're I don't care. They can have the worst bedside manner in the world, but if they were a rock star in the OR, that's what I want. And I've had 34 surgeries, so I'm very, very versed at that. So the first thing is, how much rapport do you need with somebody depending on what you're doing? When I'm working with people's TEDx's, you got to think that's one is a really important thing for people, right? Like that's a dream that a lot of people have. And so it's a big deal. I'm taking their baby, their TEDx baby, and I'm literally shredding it and saying, it sucks. That's horrible. Let's change it. I think that the rapport that I build with people isn't the typical rapport. It's the rapport of trust that I build with people, not the rapport of like, hey, how are you? We're good. Let's say that type of thing. But I build integrity trust. Like, you know, that when I say something, I'm full-heartedly in it. And that and I also tell people, if you disagree with me, I want to know. I put you in charge of your accountability for how you're feeling as well.
I'm guessing it's not like you one day you download a package from the internet and you knew how to do it.
No, no,
There was
no.
a trial and error. And
Yes.
I, and I'll tell you where we're going with this. One, I want you to describe your process of learning to do that.
Yes.
Two, I want you to give advice for people, not what to do because you cannot, it's everybody individual, but what they need to think about how they should learn to build rapport in their own way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, number one, obviously, it was hard one because everybody wanted me to do something that I wasn't normally created to do. The typical small talk rapport. Hey, how are you? What are your kids? I'm bad with names. You know that. I freak out about I have name anxiety. I freak out about your name all the time. And so I have these quirks that don't allow me necessarily to do the same type of rapport that everybody else does. So my style became earnest, like that ability for me to show you how earnest I was about you and that I care about your result. You as a person kind of comes secondary, which is like counter, like your dream is what I am holding to be outstanding. And I will go to the end of the earth to make sure you get that handled. You as a person, who you are, your kids, all of these other things, this is like kind of not my biggest interest, which sounds horrifying, right? Like, how do you build
Yeah.
rapport? Yeah. And I think what happens is that people just feel my earnest nature to really get you results and value. Like, I'm bought in. You said I'm going to stay with you. That's the feeling that most people have when they get on the first call with me, is that I pretty well coach people. And the first call I get on, I don't market to people. I just like lean in and say, what's up with you? And they're saying this. And I'm like, all right. And I show them what I have and how that care is met in a different way. Now, most people have to build rapport by actually learning something about somebody, asking a question like, what's going on with you and what have you tried? But the earnest, like the energy comes across. If you're just reading a script and you're asking people, but you don't really care, they can feel that. So that's why that didn't work for me, because that's not my primary concern. Where you feel the interest and energy is, what do we want to achieve? That's when you're going to feel that energy. That's when you're going to see my face light up. That's when you're going to feel that I'm all in. So this isn't just, yeah, I can do it on the phone too. We hear and see interest and energy. And so if you're flat and just reading a script and it's like, hey, how are you? Oh, that's awesome. Huh? You can't feel it. So the connection is really more energetic, I believe.
If I can try to rephrase more for
Yes.
myself and
Yeah.
maybe for other people as
Not,
well,
yeah.
is
Not mansplaining.
no, 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 no.
I'm teasing you.
I like to summarize. So if you learning to build rapport, you need to understand why you're doing that. Is this just to
Yes.
sell something, or you actually care about the results? I
Yes.
was talking to a friend of mine. She's doing mortgage consulting. She's actually really happy to see people buying houses. So she
Yeah.
making someone happy. So for her is to end of story that somebody buy a house and she was able to be part of the journey. I have other friends that helping with patents and many, many other people that of course they like to make money, don't get me wrong, but
Sure.
they also see the work benefits the greater good.
Yes.
So I guess when you build into your report, you need to understand why you're doing this, how genius you are, and what is there for you. Because you actually liking the idea that people did the TEDx, people did the journey, they got what the mini, small dream or big dream came true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you break it to maybe some mini steps? If people listening
Mhm.
to right now, like, okay, where do I start? Okay, I want to do this, but where
Yeah.
do I start?
Yeah. In the rapport building. Is that what you're asking? Or
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, first of all, your basic intent, because your energy follows intent. So if your intent is I'm desperate to sell you this, I don't care what you say. You're just going to have that energy. So that's the first part is, I spend that moment before I get on a call or coach anybody is thinking about that person and what their dream is. And then what is my intent for that person is to achieve their dream. And that feels to me really humbling that I could be part of that. That moment of gratitude and humbling, that space is where I lean into a call. So I manage my own energy first, not the words, but how I'm feeling when I show up on that call. And that is a mini step, but that I think is one of the most powerful things, whether you're a speaker, whether you're doing anything. If your energy is lined up with the intent of what you're going, everybody feels that.
Okay, for a second, we mentioned gratitude, also part of soft skills. So mention a bit of curiosity, but gratitude is definitely important. And
Yeah.
guidance. So some of the things that people listening to us right now think about this and read about them more and see, do you actually show the gratitude? Do you actually show the guidance? You talk about guidance or you ask to be guided. It's all important parts. This is good. What else?
Yeah. Well, and then I do something you're very familiar with. Of course, I take some breaths, conscious breaths, and actually like center my energy and show up. So I let go. I create a little mini ritual before I get on any call. I can do the gratitude. I clear my space. I show up because I believe that presence, when I'm 100% in with you, I don't have to say as many words to be in rapport with you. You know and feel like I am really there with you. And even if I'm on a group of 100 people on a Zoom call, I can hold that presence.
How did you get to this part? Who influenced your soft skills learning? Was that a person, books, films?
Mm-hmm. It was trial and error. It was really trial and error because the way that my autistic brain works and wasn't really anything that was out there to read about or to see. When I did coaching programs, people would want me to lean into their structure. It didn't work for me. When I did speaking programs, it's like, be yourself. Like if being myself worked, I wouldn't be here paying you money. So there's the idea of being authentic, but then there's the need to be authentic in whatever container you need to be in that moment. As an authentic speaker, this is how I talk at home. I'm like, oh my God, you guys, you should see this shark. He's like, what? And he's like, blah, blah, blah. That's me at home. Now, if I coached like that, if I got on a stage like that, it wouldn't work. So how can I still be me?
Different personas.
Right, it's still me, but it's me calibrated to what it is I'm trying to do.
I know for me, people joke all the time that I usually speak very fast. But when I start podcasting, I learn to slow down. So sometimes I'm talking to friends like, hey, what's up with the podcast post? Podcast voice, hey, calm down. Yeah, like, get back to yourself. Okay, speak normally.
Right. But then once again, if you do that, people's brains don't keep up as well. And
Yes,
so
definitely.
that's understanding. So the other part then is the psychology of what you're doing. So understanding your audience psychodynamics. Wow, those are fancy word. That just means what is your audience capacity of expectation and understanding. Audiences today have no attention span. So basically, if you don't keep their attention in some way or another, they're out, right? If you don't understand that, then that communication you're trying to do is gone. It's worthless.
This is reflects, so I'm dealing a lot of salespeople and customers in cyber and in tech. And for you that listening, this is also related to all your fancy presentations you want to show the customers. They don't care about it. They don't care how much money you raise in the first call. They don't care what your founders did before. In most of the cases, sometimes they do. But think about, do they really care about the entire dynamic of your company, or one slide is enough and actually move to the meat and potato?
You are 100% right. I start anything with a mini story, because once you tell somebody a mini story, they're bought in. They're like, oh, that's interesting. And so even in my speaker coaching, when I talk the talk formula that I teach, right, there's that mini story in the front that has nothing to do with anything. But what it does is the audience psychodynamics, they buy in. Oh, you're going to tell me a story. You're not teaching me anything. You're not selling me anything. I love stories. Let's do this.
Great. What else you would like to add? Because we can talk forever. We've been talking for 25 minutes and feel for like 2 minutes right now. Anything you think it's important in communication soft skills? And because we're speaking about, because we're speaking about coaching and speaking and TEDx, what is some of the small advice you can give to people that are speakers right now? And you mentioned attention span, that I think would be very valuable for everyone and make people think how to change the way they communicate when they're on stage.
Yeah, first of all, the whole idea of audience psychodynamics is important, because most people think about their speaking from what they want to say versus what the audience needs to hear. Now, that's like, what does that even mean? Well, what that means is all the important things that you think are so important to say, they don't care about. And if they don't care about it, they're out. So the first thing you always have to do is be, I think, interesting or entertaining. Do not start anything with, hi, my name is blah, da, blah, da, blah. That is like the most boring thing on the planet. It doesn't matter who you're talking to. Start out with something interesting so that people's brains light up. It changes what they're doing. And also understand that emotion is the biggest authority you have. If you can enroll somebody emotionally, whether it's like, hate, doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be good or bad, but enrolling somebody emotionally means that they will follow you to the ends of the earth. You now have more credibility than all the accolades on your PowerPoint when they buy into you emotionally.
What I wanted to summarize the episode, I think you did it beautifully. I do want to add one small part, that if you're thinking too much about what you're going to say in every word, that you're blocking yourself to actually have enough energy, focus to be emotional, because the entire focus going on there. So even if you messed up, it's okay. Be yourself. Tanja, thank you very much. A lot of good stuff. I really like the idea about being present. I really like the idea of preparing to the call with the customer, potential customer coaching, because you're fully committed. You're showing who you are. You're putting right away what's going to happen, removing all the blockages, and let people be focusing on the conversation and not how much you're going to charge and other stuff. So this is amazing advice. I hope people will enjoy the episode and will find you later on in case they need help talking about this, where they should go to find you.
Well, if you can spell my name right with this Tanja Diamond, I'm on 30 or 40 pages of Google. You cannot miss me, but you have to spell my name right. Tanja Diamond. You've got that, you'll find me.
We'll definitely link in the comments as well, so people know how to find you on LinkedIn, Facebook, and all the websites as well. Thank you very much for joining. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Power of Soft Skills in Sales. And remember, the best sales teams aren't just great talkers and deeply technical. They know how to listen, ask questions, guide, and connect on a human level. Enjoy the episode? Please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who will benefit. For more tips and insights, visit softskillstech.ca or .com. Until next time, keep sharpening your soft skills and unlocking your full potential. Check out the next episode and subscribe to our newsletter. See you soon!